Okay, so I just watched the Republican debate, the last one of the year, and I was just thinking about presidents and stuff, and I was thinking, why Donald Trump? Why? Why is he getting a majority of the Republican, not a majority, but he's getting the most, you know what I mean? Not like over 50%, but he's getting more than anyone else of the Republican Party. Out of the polls, the most people are like going for Trump. And I'm like, why? Because when they ask him questions in these debates, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. They're like, what would you do about ISIS? He goes, first he says he's going to deport all the Muslims and stuff, and he's not going to let them into this country. But then he goes back and says that this country is founded upon immigration, and we need to let immigrants, and it's just that he contradicts himself. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He says things that are stupid and don't make sense. And it's just interesting that these things seem to appeal to America. And then you have every single Republican candidate bashing Hillary Clinton, saying they're all constantly talking about how she's the worst thing in America, how she caused all these foreign policy issues in the Middle East and everything. And it's just like, and it's like, oh, well, let's talk about Bush maybe for a second, huh? But then you have Hillary. And I think that if you're a Democrat, if you're a middle-aged Democratic woman who was not old, but, you know, aware of politics during the Monica Lewinsky incident, I think that it would be hard to keep your respect for Hillary Clinton because of what happened, what everyone knew happened. And I think it would. And the hard thing about Bernie is, yes, in terms of things changing in America, he's the best candidate, in my opinion, for social progressiveness and the role of government. Clearly, I'm more liberal, and that's my opinion, but I think Bernie's right about all that stuff. But he doesn't seem to know as much about foreign policy. And when you look at his tweets and stuff, he says this is not how we'll defeat ISIS, blah, blah, blah. But does he come up with a plan? Because you don't want to acknowledge terrorist groups and stuff, but at this point, ISIS and terrorists are a huge deal. And Bernie needs to acknowledge that. And he's acknowledged it, but he hasn't come up with this real plan, and I think that's something that we need to see very soon from Bernie.